Get under here.
Which one?
This, county council,
Say that again?
not an executive session.
As we're talking about the
Are
schedule.
you having a
we
good
told the
day?
public-
It is so her.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the caucus meeting to order for August 11th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Where's the flag?
Behind us.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This meeting, caucus meeting, was advertised in compliance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. I'd like to have a motion to approve the agenda for caucus meeting.
I will make that motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Motion by Councilman Passman and second by Councilman Brown. All in favor by sign of hands. And that is unanimous. Thank you. Today, Mr. Councilman Glover said he would not be here for caucus, but he'll be here for the regular meeting. So we have a full attendance. We have this on the agenda, but we don't have any council member discussion to my knowledge at this time. We have items for executive session on our agenda. I will read them and then entertain a motion to go into executive session. The first one is under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A1, to engage in discussions incident to employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of a person regulated by a public body. This is the annual performance review of county administrator and clerk to council. B, under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A and 2A2, receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to pending litigation, Cheryl A. Mundy and Margaret Devine versus Beaufort County Detention Center case. And the last one is under South Carolina Section 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to pending litigation, Pine Island Golf LLC versus Beaufort County. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I will make the motion for the executive session as read.
For the three items.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we had a motion by Councilman Passman and a second by Councilman Brown. All in favor? All right. There may be matters arising out of executive session. The council will adjourn to another room for executive session at this time. Not adjourn, move to another room. Okay. right. Good afternoon. We had no actions out of executive session, and at this time, we are going to adjourn caucus. And we're going to have a wait before we start, of course, the 6 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
Okay? Executive
We're
session.
going to adjourn now? Oh, wait.
I did, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Adjourn caucus and a show of hands.
Motion?
Okay, I'll second it.
Motion by Councilman Brown, second by Vice Chairman Tabernick. All in favor of adjourning caucus by sign of hands? Okay, we are adjourned.
We're adjourned till 6 o'clock.
I can't just do that on my own, sorry. Good evening. If everyone could take a seat.
Hello? Yeah, okay.
Oh, 14.
Just got time to
Thinking it's mine. Because I have one like that. I said, wait a second.
He's going to be called up by Mike.
Okay.
Oh, Davis is here. Is he gonna speak about something?
Mike will call him.
All right, good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. At this time, we'll have Councilmember McKellen will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the invocation.
Dear wise and loving God, we thank you for your many and abundant blessings. We thank you for life itself and for the measure of health given to us to fulfill our duties. We thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing serious responsibilities. We ask that as a body we promote peace, order, and justice, and you graciously grant us the wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, to have a sense of the true needs of our citizens, to have a keen thirst for justice, to understand and to clearly see what is good, fitting, and appropriate, to have the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, and to have personal peace in our lives and joy in our tasks. Finally, please help us to ensure our deliberations here tonight benefit those who live and work in our extended community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Councilman McKellen. This meeting was advertised in accordance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act, confirmed with, yes, with Ms. Browder. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
A motion?
Motion by Councilman Brown, a second.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. All in favor by signifying by raising your hand,
Aye.
and it is unanimous. We have 3 sets of minutes. One is July 14th, 2025 caucus. Another one is July 14th, 2025 council meeting, and then the special called council meeting of July 25th, 2025. Entertain a motion to approve all 3 sets.
Make that motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Larson. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Second by Councilman Brown. All in favor by show of hands. Okay, and that is unanimous to approve those minutes. At this time, we have a proclamation recognizing the 100th birthday of Mary Green Robinson, and I think Mr. Clubber is going to read it.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
If she's here, could she come?
No, she's not here.
She's not here?
Her family
she's
is.
right there.
Her family's here.
Yes. Please come on. Yeah, come on up. Can I get through there? Or I gotta come on. I gotta come on.
Listen, while Councilman York is doing that, did anybody find a pair of glasses in their row? I weaved in and out and saying hello to a few people, and I think my glasses fell somewhere. If you can help me take a look for those. Please.
Look in your pocket. Thank you, my man.
Thank you. That's the day it's been, but thank you.
Chairman, am I on now?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Look at Sarah found him right here. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Where were they?
Appreciate that.
This is wonderful.
This is Mrs. Mary Green Robinson and her family. And, I mean, she's not here, but her picture is here, so you get a chance to see her
okay.
picture.
Yeah.
And she will turn 100, if God's willing, on the 4th of September. Yeah, and that's a milestone that I think many of us would like to reach. I know I would, but she has done it. So she has paved the way for the rest of her family. And I'm going to read the proclamation, and Mrs. Chaplin is going to introduce the rest of her family. And then if they want to say a few words, be allowed to say so. The proclamation says, whereas, let me take this off. On this remarkable day, August the 11th, 2025, we gather to celebrate a truly extraordinary milestone, the 100th birthday of Mary Green Robinson. And whereas Mary Green Robinson was born on September the 4th, 1925, and was since graced this world with a century of life, wisdom, and experience. And whereas throughout these 100 years, Mary Green Robinson has witnessed profound historical changes, dedicated her life raising a family, serving the community, a member of the Orange Grove Baptist Church for over 80 years, and lived a life marked by resilience, kindness, humor, that's the word, humor, not humble, humor, unwavering spirit, dedication, and whereas it is a privilege and an honor to acknowledge and celebrate this rare and joyous occasion. Now therefore be it resolved that the Beaufort County Council has hereby proclaimed September the 4th, 2025 as Mary Green Robinson Day. In honor of her centennial birthday, I call upon all who know and cherish Mary Green Robinson to join in celebrating this momentous occasion with joy, appreciation, heartfelt wishes for continued happiness and good health. May her legacy of selflessness continue to inspire generations to come. Happy 100th birthday, dated this day and signed by our chairperson, Alice G. Howard, of Beaufort County Council. Okay. Now, I don't know which one of you want to say something.
Good evening to everyone. I'm happy and proud to be here. And this is my sister Florence Davis and my sister Christine Black and Lucinda Legree. And we are so happy to witness this upcoming birthday of my mom. And she is, like she said, a selfless person. She always gives. That's a legacy for her. She's always looking for the needs of others. And thank you for the plaque and everything. And that's it.
Congratulations.
I would like to say,
We wanna
out
get
of
a-
her 9 kids, I am the second.
Yes.
Get a picture right here. Yeah, y'all stand right here.
My
Where do you
mother's
want to get
birthday, same day.
it? Doesn't matter with me.
92.
Okay. Go ahead, we're gonna take pictures.
My mom, September 4th, 1925. She only lived to be 15 years.
Brian.
Okay, well, they're taking some pictures. We'll have Mr. Moores are going to come and give the administrator's report.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Council. We do not have any recognitions tonight, but I do have several important updates I would like to provide to you all. The first one I'd like to discuss is interest payments on real property tax refunds and back tax bills. In May of this year, it was brought to the attention of the CFO and myself that interest calculations on refunds and appeals for real property previously calculated in the auditor's office had ceased back in 2020. The county assessor, Ms. Sanders, informed us that she had brought this to the attention of previous administrations, but it had not been resolved during this time. After discussion with the assessor and the auditor, I asked the assessor to go back and assist in getting the county caught up. So her staff went back and calculated made all these calculations for the past 5 years, and we're talking about 5,500 refunds. So staff has been working with the Department of Revenue and as well as the Auditor and Treasurer's Office, and we're in a position now where we've made the calculations and we're going to move forward with the refunds. At present, this is estimated at $1.6 million in unpaid interest to affected taxpayers. This has been turned over to the auditor's office to be processed with the tax software. We have communicated this with the treasurer, who's also aware of the situation, is prepared to assist finance staff with the refund checks. We have the CFO, assessor, and the auditors here as well, if there's any questions you all have on that, but we wanted to make sure you understood the budgetary impact, and then if checks start going out, you may get questions, and that's what this is going to be.
Let's open it up for questions. Surely somebody's got a question.
I'll
I'll
just
start
comment.
with Councilman Dawson. I saw his hand first.
Mr. Moore, you gave a total amount of the refunds to total, did you say 1.6?
Approximately 1.6 million, which would come from the general fund. And so I've been working with the CFO if we're going to need to do a budget amendment. We're just going to have to see how that plays out, but we do intend to make those refunds.
Time frame?
Next several weeks. I don't have a really good time frame. Is that accurate?
Yes, we're in the middle of processing the refunds now, so within the next few weeks, we should be starting to issue the tax.
Okay.
David?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have a question. When did you say, when did this start? When did the miscalculations start?
It was back at 2020.
2020. So are we going to go back farther than the state law allows for the refund period, since it was a mistake on our part? Because my understanding, it was like a 3-year look back. Is that right?
Money that we owe the taxpayers.
Okay.
We're planning to go back just because, the county is not, it was a county error that was not.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure that there was a statute of limitations or something barring that. Thank you.
We just want to make an effort to make the taxpayers whole that were affected by this.
Thank you all for even looking into it and acknowledging that.
Absolutely.
Chairman Tavernick?
I was going to thank Ms. Sanders for doing that, bringing it forward. It is money we owe the taxpayers. Yes, we didn't budget for it, but our CFO figured that out. But in transparency, we want the taxpayers to know you found it, you brought it to light, and we're acting on it. So
Right.
thank you for that.
We wanted you all to know and the public to know as well.
Yes, thank you.
Any other
Absolutely.
questions from council members? Councilman Moritz?
Was it a software glitch? What resulted in this error? I mean, I'm just learning about it now, but this is great.
It wasn't really an error per se. The calculations were previously done in the auditor's office, but at some point they ceased being done in the auditor's office. So when we got here, Ebony brought it to our attention. Ebony, you want
Good afternoon or good evening. In 2020, again, like Ms. Pinky just reiterated, it was something that was done in the auditor's office traditionally. But in 2020, the county auditor at that time chose to cease doing the calculation for interest for properties that were refunds and for legal residency account. These were primary for real property accounts. And those property owners did get a refund check for those changes that we made, but what was minus was they did not get the actual interest that was due to them. That's mandated by state code. So it says you must provide them interest on their money as an overpayment, and that's the portion that's being sent to the taxpayers.
Just a crazy question that comes to my mind is, we get audited. Why wouldn't the auditors not find this before whatever?
That's a question I cannot answer about auditing. I brought it to the attention to all the administrators up until this point, and the legal team. They've been aware of it since 2020. So to answer the question of why that wasn't included in the audit, I cannot answer that. Department of Revenue was made aware of it as well. So why or why not, that's not my purview to answer that. It's just my responsibility to the sound alarm, because this was all noise.
Right.
Okay.
I will say we have discussed this with our audit firm. Pinky's already reached out to them because we know it's going to be a correction and we're going to have to go back and issue checks from the past. We have been proactive in bringing this up with our audit firm.
Okay, Councilman Glover, I think
Yeah.
it's,
Sure. I wanted to thank you for unveiling this. I guess my question is that, from what I hear from you, Mr. Moore, it is the responsibility of the auditor to have done this, and is he going to be doing it in the future? Because I know there are going to be refunds continuously.
Different auditor.
So is he going to be doing his job?
We're
or
in
is-
discussions with the auditor about that right now. I know, there's been an initial indication that, he would consider that going forward. I think in the past, for whatever reason, the decision, had been performed in the auditor's office. There was an issue. I know we have looked statewide, what do other counties do? And I think in a lot of cases, we found the auditors are performing that function, but it's not 100% and not in all 46 counties, so.
Is there any way, because somehow council gets the blame, is there any way that we can be assured in the future that things like this happen and we are aware of it before it comes back 4 years later?
You can be assured as long as I'm here, this will not
Oh.
happen. But I do think, to answer your question, we should consider, codifying this in some way, policy to
Yes, sir.
to make sure there's a clear delineation of where the responsibility lies. Because, and I think Brian can chime in here, there's nothing clear on that we could find when we looked this up.
That's the problem. There's nothing clear in the statute as far as whose responsibility is, and there's a dispute between the auditor's office and the assessor's office as far as who's responsible for it. So when the issue was raised, we sat down, we had discussions, and because we couldn't reach an agreement, the administrator just directed the assessor to resolve the problem, make the calculations, and that's been done. And as I understand it, at this point, the assessor is really willing to resume the calculations at this point. And they ceased under the previous auditor who we were in litigation with and had several problems with, as you know. But hopefully all that's behind us. We'll work as a team and get the job done, and the people will get their money in a timely fashion.
okay, any other questions? Councilman Larson?
Yeah, just to be clear, so the people refunded their money, but this is
For
actually...
the interest, right.
Yeah, this is the interest on the refund money.
Right. For example, if they filed something with the assessor and it took a month or 2 or 6 or however many months to process and they got money back, there would have been interest that should have been also issued. The refund was given, it's the interest part that was not calculated.
Which is a state law that we must
Correct.
pay them interest.
That's
That's
right.
how this came. They got their refund, they just didn't get the interest. So
That's
this is
correct.
Correcting since 2020, so 5
2020.
5 years. So-
2020.
Yeah,
So again, that amount we're talking about over 5 years is actually not a huge amount, but still, everyone needs to get their money back, so,
It's
thank you.
approximately 1.6 million.
And no one has to file for it. We have found the errors, we know where the errors are, and we'll send out a check to the constituents. So
Okay.
we've identified everybody that's owed the interest.
Very good. Is there any other comments?
Will you
Councilman
put-
Tavernet?
Yeah, will you put a letter with the check? Because some people are going to think, why am I getting this check, and are they going to take it back? Are we going to, little explanation?
We certainly will.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Okay, great. This is the right thing to do for all the right reasons. Thank you. Any other comments or questions about that? Okay, thank y'all. And we have more, right?
There's more.
Okay.
So the detention center, I want to bring to you all's attention that our current medical services provider, Medico, has provided us with a 60-day notice that they will not renew the contract. This is for medical services in the detention center. This is due to expire on August 28th, 2025, which is coming up very shortly. So John Robinson and Colonel and the staff has worked very hard to work viable options along with purchasing. And last Friday, I held a meeting with John and Pinky, and we're going to make, I'm going to direct that an emergency contract be made with Advanced Correctional Health Care, and that's going to begin on the 21st of August, so that's a seven days in advance of the expiration. That will be for a 1-year period well, actually less than 1 year, but it will expire on June 30th, 2026. So then, so we do have a draft contract that's being worked through finance, procurement, and legal, and we expect to have that contract let by the end of the week. There will be an increase in the monthly cost of the contract by approximately $26,000 per month. Staff be working to address the increased cost. We're also going to work to get a bid out to rebid this, and that would go into effect next fiscal year. That's why we had the end on June 30th, 2026. So then we can plan for that in the budget and account for that. So I want to make sure you all are aware of that issue. We don't expect any interruption of services there, but just for your awareness.
Okay, any questions regarding that? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have y'all reached out to BMH? I know they had previously put in a bid to take over those services, and I know they still had interest in it at one point.
I'll let him weigh in on that.
How are you, sir? Yes, sir. I have had personally some conversations with the Beaufort Memorial Hospital CFO. The type of service that's being provided and the immediacy that we need a company that is ready to come in and do that service. So they're not prepared for that at the time. But as Mr. Moore said, we are going to follow this up with our competitive bid process. So we'll put this out for bid sometime in the next month, I hope, September, maybe the end of September at the latest. And then open that up, we'll finish that scope of work, put it out for bid, and properly procure a contract for the preceding 5 years after June 30, 2026.
A follow-up to that, did I understand that right, a $26,000 increase per month?
Correct, yes, sir. And we negotiated that down.
Are we sure we want to do a year contract with them on an emergency basis at that rate? Rather than doing a bid quicker?
In the review today, I just got it this afternoon. That was one of the questions I asked. Do you want to do a short-term 2 or 3 month contract, put it out for bid, and compete it to see if we have interest? So I've tossed that question back to administration, and we'll get an answer.
Okay, and
Just
more
Madam
item?
Chairman,
Oh, yes, sir.
one quick
Go
question.
ahead, Councilman Glover.
You're talking about waiting for another year. Most insurance company re-up during the month of November, right?
Excuse me, the what? Re-up?
Well, you know, they've always asked me if I'm going to change my insurance company or change my plan, do it in November.
Okay.
So is that the annual date for most insurance company, or is this something different?
This is different. I mean, this is a contract for medical services, so it's for medical doctor, for the license for the medical doctor to prescribe medication, nursing staff.
Okay.
And so it's not, it's different. But
okay.
Again, in a shorter term option, you know, may be better if we can get, the main concern I have is being able to get it bid and maintaining medical care. I think that's, you know, my primary focus here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have another question. Councilman Passmont?
Yes. Since this is an emergency contract, can we not put in the contract that we have that we are going to go out to bid and that we will have a 60-day clause to get out of the emergency contract?
Yeah, we did have that conversation as well.
The problem is there's large startup costs for this company to get the temporary employees to come there and to obligate the permanent employees to handle the contract. So there's only so much they're going to negotiate with Mr. Robinson for on this contract. So we can ask, but they've got a lot of leverage because we have the need.
Understood, but, you know, if we could do it 6 months rather than a year with an out clause.
And we may be able to put in more than 60 days. We may be able to give a longer out on this, but, or shorter. We'll have to work that with him.
I've suggested they have discussions for 3 months. That gives us enough time to do the competition, to get the bid out there, and get responses, hopefully.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is, I think, some good news. The South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs Military Enhancement Grant Proposal. In our partnership with the Navy Marine Corps team, we're working with Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer Authority to apply for $5.7 million military enhancement grant to the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs to replace the water lines at the Marine Corps Recruiting District Paris Island. The military enhancement funds created by the South Carolina legislature to improve infrastructure supporting military installations. These particular water lines, I believe they go back to the 50s. They're old, and they're at risk of degradation or failure, which that's certainly not something we want to have at a critical installation like Paris Island. Current lines deliver 175 million gallons annually. This replacement will ensure that the installation has a reliable source of water for the next 50 years. It's just another project in the long list the county has either endorsed or sponsored. And we've got others which include the Paris Island Living Shoreline, the multi-use pathway, the wastewater treatment plant revitalization plan that supports the Tri-Command, and a study regarding the Naval Hospital. And I want to emphasize this is no cost to the county, just the county has to apply for the grant on behalf of Beaufort Jasper and the installation. And we've written a letter of support, submitted the grant application on behalf of Beaufort Jasper Water, so we'll keep you informed.
Any questions about that? All right, great.
Okay, last meeting we had talked about the intergovernmental agreement with Jasper County to support their needs for Jasper County animals. At that time, we did not have the IGA, but in interest of transparency, the IGA is now in your agenda package that went out, so everybody has an opportunity to see that. And just as a recap, we had met with the Jasper County Administrator and who had requested assistance. That was discussed here at the last council meeting. I was authorized by council to proceed, and on the 15th of July, we provided a draft IGA to Jasper County. They accepted the edits, and it was presented to their council on July 21st, and it was approved. Who approved the administrator to enter the IGA. Some of the highlights are Beaufort County agrees to assist with the intake and sheltering of animals from Jasper County, support Jasper County ensuring all animals receive proper veterinary care, and to collaborate on intake procedures and record keeping. And Jasper County agreed to provide access to their facilities, records, and transfer of custody of animals, maintain the role as a municipal authority responsible for animal control enforcement in Jasper County, provide liaison for Beaufort County Animal Services, and then pay all Beaufort County invoices for personnel costs, capital equipment use, and animal care. And from August 1st through August 8th, we've documented 36 hours on behalf of Jasper County, and we'll be sending our first invoice during this week for services. So anything you'd like to add on that, Mr. Robinson?
If there's any questions, I would like to quickly introduce Franny from Hilton Head Humane. So what Mr. Moore just described is an incredible example of an intergovernmental agreement where two neighbors reach out to help one another. In this case, Beaufort County assisting Jasper County through our Animal Services Director, Tallulah, and our incredible partners, Hilton Head Humane. We've been able to provide incredible services, a lot through donations from Hilton Head Humane, providing services and volunteers to help stabilize the Jasper County Animal Shelter. What we have today is Cole. Ms. Tallulah is going to bring Cole around to see you.
Yeah, he came from Jasper County. We found him on the side of the road. This is our third surgery of hit by cars that we're finding in ditches, and thanks to Hilton Head Humane, his leg was amputated. Obviously, he's thin because we just found him. It's not because we don't. Anyway, so we have a lot of dogs there at the shelter because we're, intaking a lot of injured animals. Heartworm positive is huge in Jasper County. There's a lot of education that needs to happen. And so again, we couldn't do it without Hilton Head Humane, but to turn our backs on a need like this, because they didn't have the capacity, and we do. I'm proud of Beaufort County for stepping up. And Franny, would you like to say, because you've done a lot, please stand up and talk. But this is Cole, one of the many in ditches.
Thanks. And I'll just say that not only all of this collaboration and all the support we've gotten, but I think it's important to also mention that the regime that was at Jasper County, the president of the board and his wife, Michelle, have also been in constant contact with us. They are very much in support of everything that we do. We have a meeting out there on Tuesday to go over the grounds and do some improvements, of which Keith Hughes has been invited to participate. So, I think I'd like to squash all of the rumors that go around that there's a lot of infighting and fighting. This has been a very wonderful collaboration of everyone coming in and going out and still being together. So we're proud of that as well. So just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we're all participating together.
And thank you so much for bringing Cole, but I'll open it up for questions and comments. Yes, Councilman Reese.
Franny, is this the first cooperation you have with Beaufort on the way of animal services, with Jasper?
We've always been a part of Jasper as far as helping with spay and neuter. We've helped with emergency surgeries with John for many years. We've been in relationship with several of their directors as they've come and gone. So we've always had a nice relationship with John.
How long have you been part of volunteering and now working? How many years has that been?
Myself personally?
Yeah.
Started when I was 6.
No, okay, that's good.
I would say over 20 years.
Listen, thank you very much. And I know Tallulah, where did Tallulah go? Hey, back there.
Yeah.
Listen, got to go to the bathroom, right? We get that. All right. But listen, thank you very much.
And if I could just say one more thing with Tallulah McGee, she is remarkable. And so I think that Beaufort County should be very proud of who they have in leadership there with Animal Services. I've never worked with a partner that is as remarkable as she is, and I have nothing but total respect for her.
Thank you again. Any other comments?
Madam Chairman, I just
Glover?
want to comment that the facility that we have is an ideal location for good collaboration with Jasper County. So I see the word temporary, I hope will change.
Any other questions, comments?
How often will we bill Jasper County? You did 1 week, and so you have an invoice. How often are we going to invoice?
I have an invoice prepared now, so we have an invoice about 3 weeks of animal care, and for the first week, we Beaufort County staff started really on August 1st, so we have about a week. So by Friday, we'll have 2 weeks, and we'll invoice them for that time. But we have the invoice prepared now for animals.
So you're going to invoice once a month, once a week?
Every 2 weeks, we'll send them. That invoice just so they know what's coming, because the care of some animals are expensive, and we don't want to have them any surprises.
Thank you very much. All right.
Howard, one question.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say, Franny's comments, thanks for the positive comments about Tallulah, but I will say that we are all very well aware of the contribution that she makes, the valued and valuable employee that she is. But thank you very much for those comments. That just reinforces for us again how terrific she is. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Last thing I want to say is that we continue to work weekly with the Beaufort, with the Jasper County Administrator, and we are already working on a transition plan for Jasper County to reassume those responsibilities. So moving quickly. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Moore, any other news?
Okay, that's one thing we were going to, at request, have the auditor just come up and give an update on the tax bill. So since he's here, I would invite Mr. Cad to come up.
Good evening.
Hello,
Chairman
David.
Howard, council members, really fast. Questions about the tax bill? Yes, it's that time of year again. Everything looks on track. However, some of the things can happen. You know, those little spinny things out in the water come in and disrupt everything we do. We end up having to shut the offices down. If we don't get the files in time from the other offices, that ends up slowing us down. But we're doing pretty good, and we've been getting the stormwater file early every year. That's usually the last thing we wait for before we do the bill cycle and do everything. But that's been coming earlier. So with perfect world, we have no issues. Unfortunately, you know, with that weather dictating and stuff like that, it's just very unpredictable, because a hurricane has stopped the bill run like 2 separate years. just because of when the hurricane hit, so it happens. And again, I get them done, I usually get them done by the 30th of September when we can. I get them done right there, and then after that, I have nothing to do with the mailing, but I think they go out sometime in November.
Okay, open it up for questions for the auditor. Yes, ma'am.
So as passed in our, that we talked about, the tax bills will break down the 59.5 mils. To
Okay.
say- Right? That look doesn't make me feel,
I wouldn't have,
Warm and
yeah,
fuzzy.
my best thing I can say is, it'll be broke out in the computer that way.
I don't understand what the problem would be then. Isn't
Yeah,
that what spits them out?
There's some problems, but as far as I do it into the computer and I break it out. After that, I have no control.
Who has control?
Treasurer's office.
I would point out that the budget ordinance directs that the auditor prepare the tax bills.
Correct, and we said with the millage broken out, this much for this, this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking the question.
So the intent, whether the auditor prints the bills and mails them, or if the treasurer prints and mails the bills, the intent is clear from council to break out that millage that is prepared on the duplicate prepared by the auditor.
That's why I'm asking.
Any other questions from council?
Yes, what could we do tonight to make sure that does happen? Why leave this meeting without getting that done?
You've already done that. You've passed a law. It's in the law. The budget is a law.
So it's a law already. Then why is there even a question of that? Just educate me.
I just passed issues as far as the preparation of the tax bills and the mailing of tax bills that have occurred is causing the auditor concern at this time as far as what's going to occur. So we'll just have to see what plays out this tax cycle. But we did everything we could. We put it in the budget ordinance and made it clear that the auditor is the one to prepare the bill, and you want the millage broken out, and you expect that to be on the tax bill that's mailed to the citizens.
Listen, this has nothing to do with you, but I'm still confused why it's not going out, but I'll let it go.
Okay.
I mean, we got to address that and take care of it.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you very much for
If
coming.
I may, I just like
Yes,
to
sir.
talk about my appeal process that deals with this interest rate stuff. My appeal process, we have 70 days to complete the appeal process. That's from the start to begin, them coming in, because they appeal all personal property or real property. So you have 70 days to get that done. If you don't get it done within 70 days, interest accrues. So that's where you start picking up the interest, because the government says, I give you 70 days, you can't meet that timeline. By law, I have to give you interest for the days past that. So that's where the whole interest thing comes in. As far as the checks going out in about 3 weeks, I don't think that's going to happen because we're in the small stage right now, and I've been making phone calls, and I think there's going to have to recalculate these interest payments. They're going to have to get recalculated on some of the quals I have. I'm just trying to verify with the state if that's the way I should do it. So they may have to get recalculated. And again, when we put them in the system's so old. Everybody knows that, so I spend the money to get the new one. The system's so old, we have to put them in line by line. So it takes the money from the municipality, it takes the money from the county, it takes the money from the school, and it separates it out. We have to do it line by line. It takes us about 5 or 6 minutes per account, per hit to do that. And when we looked at the roster today, I got 6,113 hits or line item numbers that I have to do to get that in there. So if you cost 5 minutes per, and then, of course, tax bills are coming up, so it's gonna be a little concerning and hard because we got other priorities going on.
Okay. I've just, Mr. Cad, for your information, I've heard compliments on your new website from some of my constituents.
Thank you.
And I encourage the public to go to it and look at it.
Yep.
You did. Any other questions or comments for the auditor?
You talked about having to have new software. Is that in the pipeline?
It is. We already chose, see if I can talk on it. They're just finishing up with the contracts.
It was approved in the fiscal year 26 budget.
Gotcha.
But like everything, it takes a while, 2 years plus to get that stuff. But right now, we reached out to Aumentum and to tell them our issues we're having when we're trying to put this information in there, and it's kicking it back out or it's putting a negative there. And so they opened up a case, but we can't make it our priority because we got problems with the tax bills right now with the same system is the penalty dates. It could say $5 on the tax bill, or in the system, I'm sorry, when you print it out, it'll say $7. How'd that happen? So there are the issues we're having, so that's a priority right now, and you're allowed to have one priority at a time with the software company, so.
Just one quick question.
Yes, sir.
As long as you hold the money, the interest will accrue, right?
Correct, that's what I'm getting
Okay.
is for every day we hold the money, or
Take your
from
time.
every day to the point, the payment,
Yeah.
it accrues.
Take your 5 minutes on each account, get it done. Thank you, sir.
Right, well, yeah, I hope to do it a lot faster, yep.
Your time period.
Hope,
Okay.
hope's good.
Okay, thank you. We
Oh,
appreciate
yep.
it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Mr. Moore, do you have any other?
That's all unless there's any questions
That's
from
a
you.
good, a lot
That's
of
a
good
lot.
things. Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, at this time, we are going to open up for public comment in the order that people signed up. I'd like to remind the public that every member of the public who is recognized to speak shall limit comments to 3 minutes and observe the following protocol. Address the chairman, and in speaking, avoid disrespect to council and any personalities. Confine themselves to questions under the jurisdiction of the council. Be mindful and respectful of those who are present and others who may be watching on television. The first person to sign up tonight is Ms. Carrie Major.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Thank you so very much. Council, thank you for allowing me to speak again. I again bring your attention to St. Helena Island and our lack of resource for our children in the form of a community or youth center and or recreation center, whatever you want to call it. We do understand that they have one in the works, phase 1, but we're looking forward to that happening, and also phase 2. We would like to see a gym for our children, rooms for after-school tutoring, computer rooms, a large conference room for meetings and activities, and we want to basically make sure that we have a recreational facility and educational component, so our community will have a place for our youth to go as well. And I'm hoping and praying that this be done sooner more than later. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ms. Major. Next is Robert Adams.
Good evening, County Council. I'm Robert Adams, Executive Director at the Penn Center, and I'm just coming here today to talk about the situation with the cultural protection overlay. At Penn Center, we continue to check in with our audience, with the stakeholders on St. Helena, to make sure that we're in alignment with their needs and desires. And what we're passing out now are some of the letters that we've been soliciting from St. Helena residents to make sure that they support the continuation of the CPO. And this is just a sample of those letters that we've collected. You'll be getting more later. But it's just to kind of let you know that Penn Center does not try to get ahead of the constituents of St. Helena. We are we're a reflection of what's going on the island, and the island is solidly for upholding the CPO. So thank you very much for your efforts in the upholding of the CPO. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, number 3 on our list is Farrell Marquis.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. As all of you know, I am in support of the CPO being upheld. We continue to thank you guys for all of the support that you've given us up till now, and we ask that you continue to do that. We know that you guys discussed the development agreement today. We're hoping that you will take that in consideration later on, but we need the CPO to stand on its own merits. Before you consider other offers, or you look at other things, look at what the CPO has done in the past and consider what it will do for the community in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Paula Galani? Galani, yeah. I'm getting better at pronouncing it. I'm getting a little better at pronouncing it.
Delaney,
Yes.
do I need to, I just wanted to hold this up. This was in the paper on Wednesday. And it was, it's an ad, not an ad, it's an announcement of talking about the CPO. And basically what this shows is that all of these little red marks that are on this map are golf courses that are in Beaufort County. And I think it's pretty clear that there are quite a few. But what I wanted to talk about more is that it's hard for me to comprehend that one person or one business or one developer can come into a community and basically destroy it. This is the last part of the Gullah Geechee people. This is their home, this is their center, this is where the Penn Center is, and to have somebody from the outside that may not have known very much about the Gullah Geechee to come here and basically destroy the end of a culture. I find that hard to believe that kind people and people that support you all in your offices and vote you in and all of those things would be proud of that. I think it's the Gullah Geechee people need to be supported. They need to be recognized. They need to be here on St. Helena, where they have been for 300 years. They've been eradicated from North Carolina, Georgia, Hilton Head, and other little small pockets. And so this is pretty much it. So I just feel like, I know the CPO is for Pine Island, but I think the destruction of Pine Island with a golf course and multi-million-dollar homes is not going to have the positive effect on the Gullah Geechee culture that some people believe that it will. It might make some jobs, might do this, might do that. We've had lots of promises. I'm sure you all have heard everything about what's going on there and all the lawsuits. And I guess I just feel like if somebody has to fight so hard with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit to make something that basically the people of St. Helena don't want, it's hard for me to understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, Maria Gibbs.
Good evening. My name is Marie Gibbs. Thank you for allowing me to speak this afternoon. Well, we've talked about a lot of things during this fight to save our lives and our community with the CPO, but there's 3 doors I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to open the first door about the developer coming in, riding on a white horse, trying to save the community. Right now, he wants to carve out from the CPO. He's got himself a posse. We saw them in green shirts, the agitators in our meeting, disruptors coming to our meetings, and we have some who left the posse because they found the error of their ways. And now they realize that we have to be self-sufficient in our culture to make it. And there's door number 2, the surprise door. We don't know who's coming here, these secret investors. They come here, they don't know our language, don't know our culture, don't honor our ancestors. They're digging up on graves and building above it. Beachfront realtors are coming here, profiting from the view. This is cultural erased and disguised. Why we entertain this madness? And there's door number 3. The people out in the audience, the woman who came before me, she said it all. Living on this island, we're looking to you for the truth to follow the comprehensive plan. Carving out for development will not work. You will be creating a domino effect, erasing our culture, and more will come. We want to thank you for all you've done in the past in our battles to preserve and protect our way of life. Your vote on no will be the path of stopping the destruction of the cultural erasing of our culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Tom Donahue.
I'm done.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, y'all. It's good to see you. Tom Donahue here. I'm here to talk about the Pine Island thing, but more about the Gullah Geechee culture. I've done a lot of research, and y'all have heard this a bunch of times, but for me, what this has all come down to is having compassion and empathy. And there's not enough of that going on in this world today. You all see it every day. But we have to have compassion and empathy for everybody. And I personally have a whole lot for the Gullah people and their history and their culture. And so I know this is going to come up again, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. It's important for me to be very mindful of that, and I would ask that and pray that you all do as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Next is Felice Lamarca.
Thank you for reading my emails and letting me speak today. It is a very good thing when we save animals. That's my passion, number one. So there's nothing wrong with assisting Jasper County in the intake and the help with their animals. That is not my objection. My concern, and it still is after your response to me, I've sent you another email, is that you still don't know why you did it. You still don't have all of the information. I can't expect you to vote if you don't have all the information. I was encouraged tonight to hear you, all of you, ask questions of Mr. Moore on some of his presentations. I wish you would ask more questions, because I now feel that staff doesn't give you all the information. And if they don't know it, why not? So please continue doing good things, but please don't do it at the expense of other taxpayers in this community. Beaufort County. Thank you.
Next is Arnold Brown.
Have to hold it, I guess. Good evening, and thank you for your support, and thank you for your service, and thank you for the possible refund check. If I
You hope you're on the list, right?
if I receive it, I'm gonna buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks. What I've heard over the months and years from different council members and just in the atmosphere, that when it comes to making a major decision, people have criteria. People have certain things that's important to them. And what I've heard over the months and years is jobs for the community, responsible density, community relations, input from the community, recreational center, constitutional. I'm going to start with the last one first. We believe that the CPO is constitutional. It goes back to 1926. The Supreme Court made a decision whether it was constitutional or not. Thank you. So if it was a law then, that law did not expire. Laws do not expire. They can be changed. If there is ambiguity, and there is none, then the ambiguity, the decision goes to the person that wrote the language, not the challenger. It goes to the person that wrote it if there's ambiguity. Community relations or community input. The community has turned out time and time again saying that they support the CPO. That's important to the community, and it's important to your community. It shows your community that you listen to what the residents and the property owners of Beaufort County would like to have. Responsible density, that's a new one that came up recently this year. Responsible density, if a developer can build 150 houses, responsible density means that they're only going to build 50, 33%. I don't think that future developers will be satisfied with that, but that's the definition of responsible density that was been presented by the developer from Pine Island. Next one, jobs. It was presented to the planning committee that jobs would be average of $80,000 a year. Now, I'm not going to go into that. I don't believe that. You don't believe that. Recreational center, when that came up, we said we're not interested in opening that can of worms or going in onto that rabbit hole because we don't believe it's going to happen, of a donation of $202.5 million. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Next is Joseph McDormick.
Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of council, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Joseph McDormick Jr. I've lived on St. Helena and Ladies Island since 1964. I raised my family here. I served nearly 30 years as a Beaufort County magistrate. I've been honored to work with Penn Center's Land Development Project. My roots in this community runs deep. I write to express my strong opposition to the proposed map amendment, which seeks to remove property from the cultural protection overlay. This is not simply a matter of zoning. This is a matter of cultural preservation, community integrity, and justice. The Gullah Geechee community, descendants of enslaved Africans who established their homes and heritages along the Sea Islands, has maintained its cultural identity through centuries of struggles. St. Helena Island remains one of the most culturally significant areas in the Low Country. It is a place where oral traditions, language, land stewardship, and historical continuity have survived against enormous odds. The Cultural Protection Overlays established in 1999 was designed to shield this irreplaceable heritage from unchecked development. As Dr. Robert Adams, Executive Director of the Penn Center, stated, we don't believe that just because you can bring in $18 million that you get to make rules, new rules, from the rules that have been made 25 to 27 years ago. The Gullah people have endured slavery, Jim Crow, systemic exclusion, and land laws to now be threatened by speculative development in the 21st century is both heartbreaking and unacceptable. I urge you to protect the Cultural Protection Overlay in its entirety. Stand with the people of St. Helena, stand with the Gullah Geechee community, stand for the preservation of a living culture whose roots are inseparable from this land. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next is Kevin Dukes.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Dukes. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Harvey and Batty, and I'm here on behalf of the Pine Island Plan. One thing I wanted to just start out with is talking a little bit about development agreements. That's why we're here, is this process, and I've been one recently to think that it's actually a very good process. I know that we're moving into it for kind of the first time in Beaufort County in a long time, but what I would like to point out is that what it does is it creates, if we move forward with this kind of fair, timely process, it creates an opportunity to have what we've had tonight. the public engagement, involvement that would not come from a development underneath the existing zoning or just by right zoning. And so that interactive process, that guaranteed outcome that you get at the end of the process is something that you don't get outside of the development agreement process. So I know that there's been an opportunity to take and look and say, well, this is, the development agreement is a terrible thing. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be making these deals. We put forward our plan. It's been out in the open, and I think that everybody's seen it. And I think that that's important. And I think that one critical part of that is to understand that without what we're going through, there would be no open process like that for the community. And that's what we see so often, which is unfortunate because that gets to the outcomes which so many of us dislike in this community, where you get national brands, big box stores, they move in, the trees come down, the buildings go up, and nobody knows what's going on until it's too late. So here we are, we're putting forward what I believe to be a reasonable, good plan, a great alternative to what could be built. And what we are showing is really what we can do, which is more with less impacts. And this starts with the greatest of which is the 66% reduction in density. That reduction drives many of the positive outcomes that we've shown in our plan. And it's really represented by three numbers. And this is some stuff that I've run through in the last couple months as I've gone around and talked to folks, is that 16, 1.1, and 500. 16,000 is the annual tax revenue from this 500 acres every year for the last 10 years. $16,000 a year. 1.1 million is the annual tax revenue from this property under our plan. And $500,000 is the additional tax revenue over and above the CPO plan of 149 homes. So less homes, less stocks, less impacts, and $500,000 or more increased revenue. These are the things that we can achieve, and we can work together to achieve those things. The other thing I'll leave you with, I have an outline of some of the items in the plan we've talked about. I've heard from some people that those aren't real, those aren't really there. They're here. They've been here since April. I've got them here for you. I've got the page and section number that they are in our documents. And I will email those to you, and they have hyperlinks so that you can go right to them and see that they're there and that they've been there for the last 4 months. Thank you for your time.
Next is Ty O'Farrell.
Hope y'all are doing well. I'm Ty O'Farrell. In York, when you were talking earlier about the November deadline, I'm sorry to show your age, but that's for the over 65 market. So I'm sorry to say. So I'm Ty O'Farrell. I live downtown, but my farm is on St. Helena Island, right by Pine Island.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody that came on my farm tour. I had David there, Tab, and Alice, and Shannon Erickson came as well. And one of the things that I wanted to show y'all on that when I took on that tour is y'all met some of the largest farm owners on St. Helena Island. 500 acres is very small in the scheme of things of what these people own. These people's properties were owned before the CPO even came into effect. So the thing that scares me is that if we take this agreement, and we don't uphold the CPO, and we have lawyers involved, that all of a sudden the other developers are going to come to these massive landowners that don't have 500 acres but have thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. 500 acres on St. Helena is nothing. These people own thousands of acres. We're going to be in the exact same situation, because then all of a sudden somebody that's sitting on 4,000 acres has a D.R. Horton or another development come along and say, I'll give you $100 million. It's going to be hard to say no. That's generational wealth. So we're not voting on just one particular development. We're talking about what's going to happen to the future of St. Helena Island, and that scares me. So thank you. And in the business that I'm in, I run into people all the time. I know the community. I know people all over Beaufort County, and the people of St. Helena Island that I went to school with, elementary school, middle school, high school with, they don't want it. They're scared of it. They understand that it's not whether it's a golf course or less houses, it's the future of, are we going to uphold the CPO, or are we going to let St. Helena Island become what the rest of the counties become? And I think the rest of the county's great. There's great things. I love Hilton Head. I went to college with Elliot Frazier, who created the first golf course. Great kid. I actually got him out of a fight. Great kid. But and I love it. And Bluffton, I love it. Sun City, I've met some of the most lovely people I've ever met. But St. Helena Island is the gullah culture and the agriculture section of this county. And also I took y'all to the shrimp boats, the shrimp dock people. Everybody wants the same thing. I'm not anti-golf course. I'm just pro having a part of the county that people can breathe in, and if they want 5 acres to grow their vegetables, they have that opportunity. But if we allow for one, we're allowing for everything. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. The reason that I came here tonight, and I brought my daughter Maisie, is a long time ago, my mom, when they were building where Graco is today in Food Lion, the developers wanted to bulldoze all the live oak trees. But my mom drugged me along, and it was a ton of kids, and we were playing in the trees. And sure enough, when y'all go to those spots today, they're still there. There's literally some of the only shopping centers in the county where there are gorgeous live oaks. So I know y'all have a very big decision going on today, but I just want y'all to know that I'm here not for myself, but I'm here for the people of St. Helena Island that I've actually talked to. And if y'all would come on a tour with me sometime, I'd love to show you, and you could actually hear from the landowners and the people that actually know what they're talking about. So I really appreciate y'all. And his speech was one of the most phenomenal things. I think I got teary-eyed, which hasn't happened in a long time. So I know y'all have a tough decision. I understand there's pros and cons of everything, but it's whether we're going to keep the future of St. Helena the way it is, or we're going to turn a course. And ultimately, that's y'all's choice. It's not our choice, and we respect y'all very much so. So I hope y'all have a good day.
Thank you. We have 2 school board members here tonight that signed up to speak, and but I think, Miss Ashley, is there another person that signed up? Who is that? We're going to let those 2 school board members, out of respect for your position, speak last, if that's okay. All right. Okay, Michael Rivers is here, another elected official. Sorry.
Okay. So we didn't see you come in there.
We didn't see you come in.
Back door. Back door. That's all right.
Come on, back door. State Representative Michael Rivers, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and everybody on the council, my representative, Mr. Glover, as well as Mr. Dawson, St. Helena, Dale. The reason why I'm here today, if someone could hold this up for me, I'd appreciate it. And it's amazing how divine order works. Scripture says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And why am I here today? I'm here today specifically because of the Penn Center Heritage Day Parade. What my brother's holding here is the first legislation that was passed was making Penn Center Heritage Day a state holiday, so to speak, the second Saturday in November. Currently, there's legislation to make sure that the parade starts at St. Helena Elementary and ends at Penn Center. Why am I here today? I know some people can say, well, it's the state, it's the county. Perfect timing. Everything that we're talking about today, nothing can be more important than making sure that we respect something for 40 years, and that's the Penn Center Heritage Day Parade. And I'm listening to some of the things. Fight so hard, erase our culture, priority. All these things is what Penn Center Heritage Day Parade is about. Quite frankly, everything else that you're talking about tonight, and that's why I said the back door, we're focusing on the front door right now about what we're talking about tonight. But the most important thing is, in my opinion, and I think for a lot of people on St. Helena, is the back door of trying to eradicate, destroy, make it difficult to have the parade. Don't have much time, so let me say this. If you're saying that the reason why the parade route should be changed because of the time, well, I didn't do that well in math, but if you increase the distance, you're going to increase the time, right? So, and as far as the staging area, I see my school board buddies here. We moved just give me a little bit more time, please. We moved the staging area for the school buses from Beaufort High School to St. Helena Elementary, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. There's adequate space for staging at St. Helena Elementary. And but let's if you want to, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats, right? SWOT opportunity, SWOT analysis. 2 years ago, logistically, there's some things that could have been fixed. Last year, okay, I'm a preacher, so just bear with me. For the county to allow traffic during the parade, I really think is a legal liability, and I think we should never do that again. As far as the parade goes, and you're talking about, well, the inconvenience for some who live other places, Fripp Island or wherever, 6 months out of the, let me say it like this, it's 12 months in a year, right? And I know, excuse me, Madam, but privilege. At least 6 months, 6 times out of 12 months, there's going to be an accident on 21. 12 months out of the year, at least 6 times, in particular during the farming season, right? As far as Penn Center Heritage Day Parade goes, it's 1 time a year, and it's been going on for 40 years. 1 hour, and I think state law says that we have an hour to have a parade. So to change it, everything that you're talking about the culture and respect and all that kind of stuff, it's really gibberish. Because sometimes when you're talking to people who are committed not to hear you, you're wasting your time. But if you do not enforce with us having the parade route from St. Helena Elementary to Penn Center's campus, we're not asking for a whole lot. We're not asking for a whole lot. And we shouldn't have to be begging for that. The Water Festival is 10 days, right? I know that that's in the city. But look at the optics. 10 days. You even close the street down for people to race with a bad race. All we're asking, respect that day for 1 hour annually. That's all we're asking. And if you can't do that, then we wonder about everything else you're talking about. Is it just optics? So I'm asking you, normally I don't get involved as a state representative in these kind of issues, but see, I was Gullah before Gullah was cool. and it kind of bothers me now because in this season of my life, if you're doing this now, I'll be 67 in October. If you're trying to eradicate or destroy the parade now, what will you do in 30 or 40 years when some of us are no longer around? So really, I ask you, I implore you, and I'm even sounding like the Temptations. I ain't too proud to beg. Please. Our delegation, where's Mr. Davis? We even have, this year, there was legislation that I submitted, like I said, about the route. The Beaufort delegation, as I understand it, my colleagues are behind the parade route being established in perpetuity from St. Helena Elementary School to Penn Center campus. And I appreciate you in advance for supporting us in this, as well as a letter of support. I thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, we have...
What it says, an act to amend the Code of the Laws of South Carolina, 1976, by adding section blah, 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 so as to designate the second Saturday of November of each year as Penn Center Heritage Day in South Carolina. So if we can do it in Columbia, and we have crazy up there, I know we can do it in Beaufort.
Thank you, Representative Rivers.
Thank you for the time.
Yes, sir. Okay, at this time, I'll have the 2 school board members come forward. Are you going to speak separately, or? Okay.
They're in a tag team.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm Dick Geyer, Beaufort County School Board, District Number 4. You all have a hard job, and we're talking about development and growth, and I'd like to give you, I think, some good news about development and growth, because I want to focus on Port Royal Island and the growth on Port Royal Island from the Broad River to the Beaufort River to the Whale Branch. I want to give you the infrastructure that you need to support growth in one area, and that is school capacity. There are 11 schools in the school district and one charter school that's chartered to the school district. There's another charter school, Bridges Charter School. There's Low Country Montessori, and there's Holy Trinity Classical. I can't tell you what the capacity of Bridges, Low Country Montessori, and Trinity Classical, but I can tell you that the total classroom capacity on Port Royal Island is 8,020 students. Right now, I should say, 45 days from the start of last year's school, that's when we count enrollment, we had enrolled 4,778. That's 59% capacity. 59% capacity in those schools. Now, school year just started, and our indications are that we're having growth in all of our schools, especially in our elementary schools. Port Royal Elementary has 50 more students this year, which is a considerable jump from previous years. That allows us to continue to support growth by having classroom space. Now, I understand that if there is a moratorium, and hopefully there's, there may or may not be on the amount of housing that's going to come in. If we had a moratorium, we would have to consolidate schools. And we'd have to consolidate, for example, Beaufort Middle and Whale Branch Middle. I don't want to do that. Battery Creek High School and Whale Branch High School would have to be consolidated. Growth and student enrollment will keep those schools open. And I think that's very important, not only for the school district, that's important for the community. I've given everybody a copy of this plan. You all have gotten it, and Beaufort City Council has it, Port Royal City Council has it, and the Northern Beaufort County Planning Council has a copy of this. There's a lot of data in there. The data and the projections in that data are based on what you tell us and what you give in developmental agreements. And right now, we know that we have enough capacity to handle the developmental agreements that we know about right now for the next 5 years at least. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we will probably have to build another elementary school. Now, we also have issues on St. Helena Island and Ladies Island that are going to be growing, but on Port Royal Island, we can handle the growth. And hopefully, you all can give us responsible growth and the impact fees that will help support the infrastructure to support that growth. Mr. Dallas, you want to continue on?
Excuse me. Thank you, Chair and the rest of the County Council. Really appreciate the opportunity to come speak for you today. I certainly empathize with the conversations that have taken place this afternoon. To share a little bit about my personal history. I grew up on a farm in eastern North Carolina. Dad, 5th grade, Mom, 11th. Neither finished high school. They stressed education. Little Carlton could not come home, and the teacher sent a note that Carlton didn't pay attention in class. Unforgivable. But what that did was they stressed discipline, they stressed savings, and my father had several sayings, but one of them was, boy, the fastest dollar you'll ever make is one you don't spend. So that carried on into my adult life, right? Now, I'm a miser, admittedly. But in my life, we own a farm, 30 acres in eastern North Carolina. The farm goes back to 1865. My great-grandfather was a slave, and when the owner of the farm went to war in the Civil War, he did not lose his farm. So when he came back from the Civil War, he was so grateful, He sold my great-grandfather and great-grandmother 50 acres at 25 cents an acre. I'm 4th generation, 10th generation is on Earth now. And that 30 acres, which used to be very profitable doing allotments, is basically useless unless you develop it. So what you hear here today, tonight, my family was faced with the same thing. So what have we done? And this is a recommendation to the council and to the people who are assembled here this afternoon. We had to figure out a way how to monetize that asset. So we got 30 acres. It's only 17 miles from Greenville, North Carolina. When I grew up, Greenville, North Carolina was 30,000. Population is now 94. East Carolina University, which it used to be 10,000, is now right at 25,000. The hospital, which used to be a very local hospital, now is a satellite hospital for northeastern North Carolina, and it is 5 times bigger than what the previous hospital was. The ECU has added a medical school, a dental school, so now it is an economic juggernaut. So what we're doing with our farm, and maybe this can be instructive for communities that have not had equity participation in deals before, is we are not selling our land. We're not selling it. What we're doing, Auburn University is a leading college institution in the U.S. for small homes. So we are working with a former town manager in South Carolina, who many of us know, to partner with us. We're building rentable homes on that land, and we are creating entities so that future generations are participants. So what I will suggest to you is that when you look at all the growth that's coming into this area, and I have some examples. One of the first is look at the growth in Charleston and Savannah. Now, I'm fortunate to have a few moments on WHHI once a month, and in the month of May, I totaled how many announcements were there about economic inflow into the low country from Charleston to Savannah. 1 month, $600 million. 1,500 jobs. Look at what's happened in Richland. When I looked at some rental properties up there 7 years ago, I didn't see the growth. Now look at it. Those properties have multiplied in value. And I think what you have in Beaufort County in certain areas will do the same. Look at the Jasper Ocean Terminal. Now, coming from the petroleum industry, we ship a lot of product on big cargoes. Current cargo ships, containers, are going to be passé. New Panamax ships are 3 football fields long. When you go over that bridge to Savannah and you look to your right where those cranes are, those big ships won't fit under the bridge, which is the air draft. It will cost $1 billion to get those ships under the bridge, and when they get up there where you see those cranes, they can't turn around. So the Jasper Ocean Terminal is very much likely to occur. Yes, there's political pushback, but that's where things are going, and we will benefit from it. The other thing is creating an investment vehicle so that groups of people who may not have communicated or participated before, help them create economic vehicles, LLCs, S-corps, so that they can pull all their entities and land together and then give them a part of the investment. And that's happened. Some people say, well, that can't happen, but look at the NBA. Remember the NBA, the owners were just killing it. They still are because the franchise is so valuable now. But what did they do? They said, we're going to give the players 55% of the revenues. And all of a sudden, look how players have absolutely exponentially become very profitable themselves. So I think that's a model for us, for you to consider. The growth is coming, as my colleague and our chair has said. It's coming, it's inevitable, and maybe there's a way to figure out how others can participate who traditionally have not participated. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment period tonight. Senator Davis, did you have something for public comment? Okay, thank you. We wanted to recognize you too for being here. At this time, do we have any council members to give liaison and committee reports?
Madam Chair, I have one. That on July 24th, we attended. We meaning Madam Chair Howard, Vice Chair Tabernick, Hank Amundson, and our Administrator Michael Moore, attended the Beaufort County Economic Development Court meeting. And we learned in that meeting that they want to purchase land for about 75% more than what it's worth, what other properties in the area are selling for. We also learned they want to give grants to organizations that don't need Beaufort County taxpayer money. So on next Finance Committee meeting, Hank is going to come up and present some new guidelines for them. And then we will vote on September 8th for a new resolution. And I hope that my council members will vote with me on this.
Okay, thank you. Any other reports? Councilman Reitz?
Yeah.
Airport, I guess?
Airport, the Phase 1 build-out is going extremely well. About 3 weeks ago, I had a tour, and there's going to be some very unique features to this airport. Is my time up? Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Pinky saying, yes, it is. And somehow, I can't help but think that the stars are lined up here tonight with the good senator here in the back and Mr. Dallas and Colonel Geyer. I was at this airport on Hilton Head Island, and the atrium, the entrance to it and the exit, they're all in the same. And I said, why can't we put together a little showcase of our students and all the good work you're doing, Dr. Rodriguez and yourselves are doing with them? And somehow, Mr. Ribaut and I talked about it. Then I was with Dr. Rodriguez. Then these two gentlemen here tonight just happened to be here tonight. We met the other day. And, you know, we're going to, this council, I like to work with all of them. We've got lifelong educators here. We're going to have I'd like to say Frogmore as well should have something like this, but we'll have a showcase, God willing. And Senator Davis, I mention you because we got to work on some funding for this and get some design build going, but appreciate your thoughts. Again, I believe the build out is going to maintain our low country feel, very unique, not too big, but just perfect for what we're doing. And I give John Ribaut a lot of credit for the work he and Steve Perry and that group are doing. But I think going forward, as we get into Phase 2, we're going to really talk about how we can showcase our kids. And, you know, they're our future leaders. And for you to be here tonight to talk the way you did, and Mr. Dallas, let me say something to you right now. 3 years I've been on this council, and I think I've met just about everybody in the county. And for this humble servant to work with somebody that had a grandfather that was a slave, I'm honored to work with you and everybody here. And I got to tell you, you look at 1862, you look at Fishall Park, right, Mitchellville.
Okay,
Our
we
history,
need to cut it.
We need to move on.
Yeah, your time's up.
We got to move on? Oh, my
Yeah.
time.
All
Listen,
right,
my time is
be
up.
here all
Listen, the
night.
last one I'll do, Alice, Mr. Chair, one second. The Breeze, the Palmetto Breeze, they have a pretty good budget shortfall that I've got Mr. Moore and Pinky involved with, and you're talking with Mr. Sullivan, correct? Anything we can do, let me know how I can help in that regard, all right?
I'd like to call on Councilman McEllen. I know Green Space met last week. Is there anything to report?
Yeah, there's some matters that were discussed there. There's a Phase 1 application being considered for some of the Chilton properties that are actually in Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton counties. And the Phase 1 area probably will have a cost of about $7 million. It will be a total of about $2,900 acres in Phase 1 and 2, and it will join other protected properties in that area in Yemassee, around the Yemassee area, that actually total about 40,000 acres with property that's already been purchased. And this will be coming before the Natural Resources Committee on September 2nd. The other one is in the western section. In Bluffton, there are some areas being considered for a purchase. They call it Section 5A, B, and C, and it totals about 300 acres. The total that's being considered presently is about $3,860,000, and that too will be coming forward to September 2nd. Natural Resources for consideration at the September 20. 2nd, I think, is the county council meeting that'll be there.
Thank you. Anyone that was at the Northern Beaufort County Regional Plan Implementation Committee would like to report?
I didn't want to report on that one. I have 3 things I want to update on.
Councilman Dawson, or, okay.
So I briefly want to say with TCL, the Technical College of the Low Country, the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs issued a certificate of gold grade for their achievements with supporting service members, veterans, and reserve National Guard members, and the family members as well. So I think that was worth acknowledging. Also with the Solid Waste and Recycling Board, I want to thank all the council members for getting the word out there. We finally have enough people to have a quorum. Business is being conducted in there, so it's wonderful to see that moving forward. And I was appointed to the Waterfront Advisory Board for the City of Beaufort. We had a meeting last week. We just had some information come out today. I haven't had a chance to go through 75 pages of the engineering report. I'll get back to you on that one. It'll take me a little bit, but things are moving forward with that committee, and we're going to be delivering some recommendations to the City Council. And I'm going to be coming back here and probably asking for some allocations at some point to see what we can do to help them out as well.
Thank you. Ms. Tavernick?
So I attended Soloco, that's the Southern Low Country Regional Board. And for people who don't know, that's the municipalities, Jasper County, Beaufort County, and other interested parties. There was a report from the Child Care Subcommittee, which will come to this council if we wish to support that. It's looking at how to subsidize child care with the state and employers. There was also a report by our own Rob Merchant on the Regional Growth Plan. Alice and I attended the Beaufort Memorial Hospital Board meeting. They continue to talk about recruitment of nurses and doctors, very important, and their building in Bluffton on the Bluffton Parkway is progressing nicely. I attended Alice and Paula were with me, the Low Country Area Transportation Meeting, we call LATS. And so, yes, and we always get updates from SCDOT about I-95 construction, bridge replacement, corridor improvements. And anybody that wants to see any of these, all the agendas are online. Soloco, LATS, they're all online. And what was the topic of discussion was they revealed the results of the study for the Bluffton Parkway corridor, which is what residents call 5B. Okay, they call it a lot of names, but 5B is what it's called. The study detailed the best level of service reduction techniques to pursue. It was very interesting and basically showed there's no funding. But all of their reports are online, and so everyone could see it. Then several of us attended the South Carolina Association of Counties, and the best class I took was Crisis Management Strategies and Communication. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the AI class as well, and several of us graduated level 1, level 2, so there is continuing education among us. And the last thing I'll say is Councilman Bartholomew and Chair Howard and myself have been immersed in taking the parliamentary procedure class online through the National Association of Parliamentarians, and Councilman Bartholomew has been selected as our parliamentarian, so he will keep us straight going forward. And it's a big responsibility, but he was happy to do it.
That's a tall task right there.
Yeah, I understand that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, any other council members have some? Yes, Councilman Passman.
Yes, I attended the library board, and just want to give you a couple pieces of information about our library system. Both print and digital circulation grew by 43,701 pieces of material. We're now up to 885,000 pieces of material in our libraries. The physical count, that's people going to our libraries, increased to 401,379 people visited the libraries this year. Furthermore, because of the growth in our county, we now have 7,310 new library cards issued. If you don't have a library card, get one. If you do have it, use it. It is a wonderful thing. The library just instituted a concept called Flipster. It is all of the magazines that you, over the course of your lifetime, may have wanted and couldn't afford. They're now online, including the latest one that came online this month, Consumer Reports. That's my report.
All right, thank you. Lots of good news. All right, now we go into ordinances for third reading.
Okay, down to business here. 2025/36 is an ordinance amending Chapter 14 Animals, Article 2, I guess that is, Animal Control, Section 14-27 Definitions, Section 14-28 County Pet License, Section 14-30 Declaration of Restricted Dog, Appeal of Breed Determination, Section 14-32 Dangerous Animals, 14-34 Nuisance Pets or Livestock, Section 14-35 Animal Cruelty and Neglect, Section 14-43 Livestock, 14-45 Rabies Control Act, 14-47 Dangerous Animals Not to Go Unconfined on Premises or Off Premises unless safely restrained, and Section 14-48 Enforcement and Penalties of the Beaufort County Code of Ordinances. The vote at the Community Services Committee on June 2nd was 7-0. The vote at first reading, which was also a public hearing, June 23rd was 11-0, and the vote at the second reading on July 14th was 9-0. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance as read and shown on the screen?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve this as read and shown on the screen.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh, thank you. For the public, we've already chewed this one and spit it out like 100 times, so are there any further comments or questions?
Go
from
ahead.
council?
I think there was somebody down there.
Yeah, I do have a question. I don't know whether John or David, when I asked this one, I thought we talked about in section 14-32, section E, the officer may modify or remove the classification level 3. I thought we talked about taking that away from the officer and putting it back in the hand of the magistrate. I thought that's what we talked about last time.
I'm still on, yeah.
Yes, sir, that was the subject of the amendments that we made to Section D and Section E.
Okay, talking to Mike.
Yes, sir. It was amended as to Section D and E, so that's been changed as I don't know if you might have one of the earlier versions of the ordinance before it was.
It's changed?
Yes.
So I got an old copy.
Yes, as of when the agenda was republished, I'm sorry, we had an old version in there, but as the new version that was submitted as your backup tonight has both that amended.
Okay, then, okay, I'm gonna stop because I may have the old copy. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Mr. Lawson, did you have something or no? Okay.
Madam Chair, I did have a constituent reach out to me earlier today, and she actually showed up today as well with the same question, but I'm assuming if she has a question, other folks will as well. For 14-35, there was a mark through where it says "at all times." Can you explain that? It's about providing food and water, and I believe the enforcement and the intent behind it is still going to require the enforcement and the providing of that food and water, but she had concern about that language change.
Yes, sir. We did look at that section, and that is the section in the animal cruelty section. So we needed to make sure that our ordinance was in compliance with the state law, and that if you read that section, it addresses food and water available at all times. So the at all times was stricken through, and that does not mean that the animal should not have water at all times, but having food out all the time is prohibitive for folks. So it doesn't mean that we won't, as we enforce this, that we're not going to make sure that animals aren't cared for properly, that they have what they need. But that's just those couple of words that you were referring to in that section.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else comment or question?
Quickly, one more, want to make sure. Where we talk to the farmers and we basically have the evacuation of those livestock, et cetera, et cetera. How do we communicate this to, or who communicate this to the farmers?
So we, before we brought this ordinance amendments to the Committee of County Council, we had a stakeholders meeting with the Farm Bureau staff.
Right, I was there, yeah. The question
so-
of the language here, how would the farmers be notified? Who's going to do that to make sure those with large animals know exactly what's required of them?
Yes, sir. So I did that. We addressed that with the Farm Bureau while we were there. When we made those changes in the initial ordinance that went to first reading, I reached back out to the same Farm Bureau staff, the folks that came to that meeting, and shared that information with them then.
So you will be responsible for communicating to the Farm Bureau the changes that's here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can do that again. We made
No,
sure that they knew
I'm
it.
talking about ongoing.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
because farmers come and go.
Yes, sir.
But, farmers who may come tomorrow may not
Understand
know.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
sir. We can meet with them and make sure that they're kept abreast.
Any other comment or from
Thank you.
council?
Madam Chair, I just have one more thing. I just want to say thank you again to staff and legal and all the stakeholders that came. I know it's been a long time coming, but thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
All right, all council members in favor of approving ordinance 2025/36, raise your hand. All right, thank you. 2025/39, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of Holly Hill Road utility drainage signage and access easement agreement for Holly Hill Road located in Bluffton Township off New Riverside Road. The vote at public facilities was on June 16th was 8-0. The vote at first reading June 23rd, 11-0, and the vote at second reading and public hearing held July 14th was 9-0. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance as read and shown on the screen?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Thank you,
it.
Chairman Howard. And Ms. Brown seconded. Thank you. So the motion's made and seconded. Any question or comment from council members? All right. All in favor of approving this 2025/39 ordinance? Okay, thank you all. 2025/40 is an ordinance authorizing the abandonment of an undeveloped portion of Coffin Bluff Road located off Fripp Point Road on St. Helena Island. The vote at public facilities on June 16th was 8-0. The vote at first reading on June 23rd, 11-0. And the vote at second reading, which was also a public hearing, July 14th was 9-0. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance as read and shown on the screen?
I so move, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
I'll
Councilman
second that.
Glover and Councilman Bartholomew. It's been motioned and seconded. Any comment or question on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025/40, raise your hand. Thank you so much. And we have one ordinance for first reading. It's a short one today. 2025/37 is an ordinance amending the zoning map for 11 acres located on Burnt Church Road, R600 039 000 1552 40s, and the other ones are all listed, from T3 Hamlet Neighborhood and T4 Hamlet Center to T3 Neighborhood. The vote at Natural Resource Committee on June 2nd was 4-1, and one person abstained. The vote at first reading, and which was also a public hearing, on June 23rd, the ordinance failed 6-5, and the vote for motion to reconsider at July 14th council meeting passed 8-1. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance as read and shown?
Yes, I would like to make that motion.
Second.
It's made by Mr. Passman, second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Lawson, second. Is there any comment or question from council?
No, I need to read the reasons why I believe this ordinance should be moved forward. I move that we grant the request for rezoning for the following reasons. One, it is consistent with the goals and policies of the Comprehensive Code and the purposes of the Development Code. 2, it is not in conflict with provisions of the Development Code and/or our Code of Ordinances. 3, it does address a demonstrated community need. 4, it is required by changed conditions. 5, it is compatible with existing and proposed use of land surrounding this land. 6, it would not adversely affect nearby land. 7, it would result in logical and orderly development patterns. 8, it would not result in adverse impact on the natural environment. And 9, it would result in development that is adequately served by public facilities.
Are there any comments or questions from council members? Mr. Lawson.
Let me just say, this is in my district, and first looking at this, you look at the density that's allowed for these two zonings, and after looking at it closer, this is actually lowering the density that would be allowed at its maximum. So again, it's right across from MC Rowley Elementary School. So again, location is perfect for this. So again, looking at this as a whole, we are putting this whole 3 pieces of property as one, and by doing that, the density that we're going to be approving is less than what would have been allowed if the 3 pieces would have been done separately.
Any other council member question or comment?
The last time we had this, we asked about whether the development would be connected to sewers, and I think the answer was yes.
Septic tanks.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, so there is a motion to reconsider this, and we have a motion and a second, so I'd like to do a roll call since this is a reconsider of a motion.
Madam Vice Chair?
Yes.
You recall that the last time the applicant said that he wasn't at the meeting and he wanted
Yes,
to
is he here? Is the applicant
Yes,
here?
the applicant is here.
Would you like to speak? Where is he? Do you want to speak? Oh, okay. Oh, so you do have some words for us, Senator.
A few. I think Mr. Passman did a good job of reciting all of the reasons why it's compatible and why it should be approved. The overall densities is reduced. There currently are 40 septic tanks on the property. They're going to be taken up. It's going to be put on regional sewer. I mean, it's also good for a transitional area for residential as you go into the Alljoy neighborhood. So very good summary given by Mr. Passman. But the developer is here if there's any questions that you have, but you already have a good summary before you.
Would the developer like to speak?
Not unless he needs to.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's any more questions. Are there from anyone here? All right, we're going to do a roll. Thank you, Senator. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Passman?
Yes.
Councilmember Lawson?
Mark Lawson, yes.
Councilmember Reitz?
Yes.
Councilmember McGowan?
Yes.
Councilmember Glover?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Councilmember Dawson?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Bartholomew?
Yes.
Vice Chair Tabernick?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you, ma'am. That takes us to the last item, which is discussion surrounding scheduling special counsel.
Right.
Go.
Yeah.
And we can make it by 8 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe.
Are you going to speak to this?
We got
Or you've got Mr. DeBose?
Attorney John DeBose is online at Zoom. I've provided each council member a proposed schedule, and I will caveat that with, you'll recall that the previous motion from council was to have a special meeting for each development agreement, and that be the only thing on the agenda, and that is not my recommendation. And the reason for the change in the recommendation to council here tonight for your consideration, and your consideration only, is that in rereading the statute, you only need to have 2 public hearings if you're going to enter into a development agreement. And you won't know if you're going to enter into a development agreement until after that first reading. And both parties really wanted to marry up the development agreement public hearing and the zoning map amendments. And if you follow the schedule that I did, or something similar to that, we will accomplish that. And if you decide to enter into a development agreement, the discussions, I propose the second hearing be a month later approximately, and that gives you time to start the negotiations and enter those discussions. If you choose not to enter into a development agreement, and recall, you're going to have briefs next week from legal counsel, August 18th concerning Ramsey Farms, and August 20th from Pine Island. So you'll get your legal briefs, so you have good thoughts in your mind as far as what you want to do. And the goal after that legal brief is for you to decide, do you want to enter into discussions or not? And that gives us additional time prior to the first readings. So that's why I proposed marrying up the development agreement and zoning map amendments at the first reading for each. And the first reading for Pine Island would be September, the second meeting in September. That's the 22nd, is that right? And for Ramsey Farms, I thought it should be a different week, so I altered the week and made it the week before. So if you did the first reading for Pine Island and sync that up, then September 8th would be your zoning map amendment first reading and your public hearing for the development agreement. And you recall that you deferred the first reading when it came for your first reading on Ramsey Farms. So you would have both of those September 8th. If you wanted to enter in discussions and negotiations for a development agreement, then you would have a month for October 13th for the second reading. And if you haven't finished the development agreement, that's not a big deal, because you can always bring it back. And an ordinance takes 3 readings to pass, and there's an ordinance for both the zoning map amendment and the development agreement. So you have additional time to determine when that meeting would be, and if you want to enter into it or not. You can always disapprove the ordinance at any of those 3 readings if you pass it along.
And again, just to repeat, there'd be separate dates for Ramsey Farm and separate date for Pine Island.
Yes, ma'am. The dates I proposed, and it's for council to decide if you like that calendar or not, is September 8th for the zoning map amendment first reading and first public hearing for a development agreement, and October 13th would be the second reading of the zoning map amendment if council voted to approve both of those going forward, the ordinance, and the second public hearing for a development agreement. And if we hadn't concluded or finalized the development agreement, we'd have to bring it back for another reading and potentially a third reading, because if we aren't ready with the development agreement, then we'd have to bring it back. You can have more than 2 public hearings, but you have to have a minimum of 2 if you're going to enter into a development agreement.
You need a motion from us tonight about these dates?
Yes.
So that we can discuss it?
And so everybody knows what's going to happen.
Okay. So,
a question.
Brian, I would
well,
like.
let's
I'm
make
sorry.
a motion. Well,
Yeah.
to discuss it, we need a motion, don't we?
And discuss it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we do.
We
Need a motion
really
to
should have a
discuss
motion to put it on the
I think to
floor.
put it on the floor. Okay, I need a motion to put it on the
It's
floor.
already put on the floor.
For
isn't it?
discussion.
For discussion of it. All right, did you make a motion? Paul?
A motion to discuss, I would like to meet John DeBose, the attorney that the council hired, because we have not had the opportunity to meet him yet.
Okay.
I'd like to hear from him.
As soon as we put it on the floor.
Okay, you're making a motion to
Yes.
discuss. Do we have a second
A second?
to discuss?
Do I have a second?
All right,
I'll
we have a
second.
second by Councilman Reeds. Okay, now we can open up for discussion and,
Can you see the screen? He's on screen by Zoom. He's up in Columbia.
Yeah, he's right here. Hello, Mr. DeBose.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh, he's
I'm
loud.
good. Oh,
Question.
it's loud.
yes, sir?
Brian, when you were
Mike.
discussing all the dates, I thought you
Can I get a
mentioned
copy of that
something to occur
calendar, because I don't have one.
on the 22nd of September,
Yeah.
and then you went from September 8th to October 13th, and the 22nd kind of fell off the
okay.
table. Is that, I know that, but when he was talking about it, he didn't mention it that way.
No, they're 2 separate ones.
You know.
Pine Island is September
right.
22nd and
Let-
October 27th.
Let's let our attorney and Mr. DeBose answer that.
Okay, and John's got a copy of this online, and we talked about it this afternoon
Right.
by phone. But the dates I gave you for the September 8th and October 13th would apply to the Ramsey Farms.
Okay.
And if you look at the first page of the handout I gave you, the dates that I recommend are September 22nd for the first reading of the zoning map amendment ordinance and the first public hearing for the development agreement. And then it would be October 27th, which would be the second meeting in
Okay.
October,
Yeah.
for the second reading of each of those.
Yeah, I just didn't hear the mention of the 22nd in the last thing you said. I'm clear on it now, thank you.
Yes, sir. And the reason I picked the 22nd was because it's going to be at the Natural Resources Committee on September 2nd.
Right.
And the normal course of business is that it comes to the second council meeting after the Natural Resources Committee.
Madam Chair, if I can,
Yes.
if I can take the segue right, real quick to make a motion to extend past our 8 o'clock. It is 7:54, and
We have a second for that
I'll
motion?
second that.
And a second by Ms. Paula Brown. All in favor of extending past 8 o'clock? We're going to do a roll call vote on that, or?
No.
All in favor of extending past 8 o'clock by show of hands? And it is.
You may have to roll call. They're not all in favor.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, do a roll call. Go. David.
Okay.
We never voted to do that.
We're going to do a roll call on extending past 8 o'clock.
Who was the first? And then who seconded it?
No, it was already on the floor. That's what he's saying.
Clock's ticking.
Councilmember Bartholomew?
yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes?
Councilmember Reeds?
Humana, these guys, no, I'll say yes.
Councilmember Passament?
No.
Councilmember McGowan? Councilmember Lawson?
Mark Lawson, yes.
Councilmember Glover?
Abstain.
What was that?
Councilmember Dawson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Tabernick?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, going back to our discussion. Any other questions? But we have a motion. I've been told by our parliamentarian we didn't have to have a motion, but we do have a motion, so. To discuss these
Can we
dates,
ask,
because
can
we
we
don't have
discuss
to
it,
vote.
Madam Chair?
Yes. What about, I have a question. What are the dates for the legal briefs? Oh, we have that. Never mind. Okay, I see it here. The legal briefs to council.
John, you want to talk about your planning commission issues with the Ramsey Farms dates?
Yes, correct. Brian and I did review these timelines. I do think that they are a good suggestion and that they contain some breathing room for council discussions. And if either of these development agreements look like they're gaining momentum for negotiation with the developers. On the September 8th and October 13 meetings, I have a planning commission meeting that is planning commission meetings scheduled on those dates. My planning commission meetings are typically over by 7 or 7:30 at the latest. Again, cannot promise that they will end at those times, but can certainly, again, call in at conclusion of those meetings and even perhaps get coverage for one of them. I know the September meeting is when the conflicted jurisdiction has a comp plan for consideration and recommendation to council. So I suspect the 9/8 meeting will be somewhat involved. But again, wanted that put on y'all's radar. That September 8th and October 13, I'm certainly available. It might just be towards the latter part of any of y'all's meetings on these matters. But again, I'm briefing y'all next Wednesday the 20th, and next Monday the 18th, respectively, on these. And again, I think Brian is on the right track with building in a little bit of breathing room on both development agreements.
At what time on the 18th and the 20th?
On the 18th, it was going to be at noon before the two committee meetings that afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
And the other ones, all these September 22nd is during regular council meeting. So
Right.
those meetings are going to be long.
They are, but I put them out there because
Yeah.
that's the natural course for the zoning map amendments. Now, nothing says or prevents you from pulling it from your regular council meetings where you normally hear it to a special meeting if you wanted to, but because we had the request to marry them up, and it made more sense if all the public is coming to speak, that they speak at the same meeting instead of multiple meetings over and over again, hearing the same comments. That's my only thought.
Well, my concern is we'll have committee items coming to agenda So we're gonna have a whole agenda of work, and then we're gonna have this. Oh, I just want to clarify. So we're gonna extend to 10 o'clock.
We're having this before the committee meeting, right?
Start the meeting earlier?
Yeah.
Could we start the meeting earlier at 6 o'clock?
Yes, sir. We could forego caucus if necessary and start at 5. You can start at any time council
Anytime you
wants.
want, yeah.
It's at council's prerogative. You went to 6 o'clock to make it available for the public, all right? Now, these are going to be long meetings because the public wants to be heard, rightfully so, and you want to hear from the public, but there's just going to be a lot of work in hearing both of these development agreements and zoning map amendments for you to make your decision over the course of the time that they're under consideration. But
That's why I bring it up. It's gonna be a very long meeting.
yes,
Yeah.
but you want to hear from all of the public that wants to speak, so you consider everything in making your decision.
Any other discussion?
It's up to council if they agree with these dates or if they want different dates.
Okay.
I have
Councilmember
questions for Mr. DeBose.
Yes.
I'm Paula Brown, and the zoning map amendment will be at the Natural Resources September 2nd. Wasn't that supposed to be in with the development agreement? I'm a little confused on that. So we do the zoning map amendment first? What if that doesn't pass in natural resources, then what?
So my understanding is natural resource is not the ultimate decision maker on that. So regardless of resources approval or disapproval of any zoning map amendment, it would still come to county council for that first reading on Pine Island.
Okay, thank you.
And you'll recall that originally, we had them scheduled both to be at that September 2nd meeting, but then council voted to separate them and have the development agreements presented to all of council.
When will we see you in person, Mr. Bose?
Next Monday and then again next Wednesday. You might be tired of seeing me by Wednesday afternoon, but yes, I'll see you all in person next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Do you have what you need now, Mr. Moore, from us? And Brian? Albert?
I would like to have a vote to adopt the calendar as presented and discussed, if council is happy with that, and then the public knows what the plan is going forward.
Notice the hearings as
And,
So we need a
and the reason that's important is we have to advertise for these meetings, the public hearings for development agreement and zoning maps, and we have to post it on site. There's a lot of work that has to be done, so that's why I need some firmness to the dates.
Okay, so we need to entertain a motion to adopt the schedule.
Madam Chairman, before we
Dates.
do that, quickly, this.
Wait, we need a second.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Do I have a second?
Oh, I'll second it. Oh.
Did somebody make the motion?
Councilman Glover did.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear him.
And you second?
No, I'll second, yes.
Okay, discussion. Questions?
I want to get my dates and time. The August legal briefing on the 18th, that's at noon. Till when?
Till committee meeting at 2, or if you end earlier, it's as long as it goes, but you have a hard date time for your committee meeting.
Right. And then the 20th legal briefing, that's from 1 o'clock until.
Till it ends. That will be a longer briefing. That's more complicated. That's Pine Island.
Okay, so that plan for 7?
No, I would
Okay.
say the goal would be 2 to 3 hours, but
Okay.
it depends how many questions each of the council
Gotcha.
members have.
Got you. And those sessions are going to be in open?
No, sir, those are executive
Executive
sessions. You're getting
session.
a legal brief. You're getting legal
Okay.
advice, and Mr. DeBose will be briefing you.
Okay. When will the public get that information?
They won't.
They won't? Okay.
That'll be
Okay.
attorney-client privileged information.
Okay.
Okay, so we have any other questions regarding adopting this schedule? All right, we're ready to vote. By show of hands, all in favor